The day was like any other in Walls, Mississippi, until a trailer pulled up to the small house of the Sparks family. A young girl, Kim, who was only 7 years old, was sitting on the porch, dreaming about the one thing she wanted more than anything in the world, a horse. She had been coming to the nearby Circle G Ranch almost every day, just to catch a glimpse of Elvis Presley riding his beautiful golden Palomino, Rising Sun. Her heart always skipped a beat when she saw him, but today was different. A man stepped out of the trailer, and Kim's eyes widened in disbelief. It was Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, the man she had only ever seen on TV and in magazines. He walked up to the porch, his smile warm and genuine. "Hi there, Kim," he said, crouching down to her level. "I heard it's your birthday today. Is that right?" Kim nodded, her heart pounding so hard she thought it might burst. "Yes, sir," she whispered, her voice trembling. Elvis's eyes sparkled with a mischievous glint. "Good, because I don't know what I would do with your present if it wasn't." Kim's eyes filled with tears. "What present?" she asked, her voice barely audible. Elvis took her tiny hand in his and led her to the trailer. Inside, a beautiful young horse stood, its eyes gentle and its coat a perfect chestnut. Kim's jaw dropped and she started to cry. She ran to Elvis and hugged him as tight as she could, her sobs mixing with tears of joy. Elvis held her close, his own eyes glistening with emotion. No one, young or old, had ever reacted to him quite that way before, but this wasn't just any day for Elvis. It was October 8th, 1967, and he was in Arizona, filming a movie called Stay Away, Joe. The film was far from his best work, but it allowed him to spend time doing what he loved, riding horses. In the movie, Elvis played Joe Lightcloud, a half-Indian, half-white man who traded his horse, Old Gray, for a red convertible. Despite the absurd plot, Elvis found solace in the saddle, just as he had done at his Circle G Ranch back in Memphis. Elvis had always been a horse lover. Growing up in poverty, horses were a luxury he could only dream of. But as his fame grew, so did his collection of equines. He bought Western wear at the Cottonwood Hotel's Robinson Clothier Western wear store, indicating that his love for the ranch life was never far from his heart. During breaks from filming, Elvis would ride bareback on Old Gray, feeling the wind in his hair and the connection with his horse. The horse trainers on set, Bobby Davenport and Joe Craigmile, noticed a Grella mule romping in a field at a nearby ranch. Davenport bought the mule on the spot and brought her to the set, where she became Mousie, a Hollywood star in her own right. Mousie would go on to appear in films with John Wayne and TV shows like Lassie and Brett Maverick. Despite the challenges of filming and the mediocrity of the movie, Elvis's love for horses never wavered. When the filming wrapped in mid to late November 1967, Elvis had to leave the Circle G Ranch, which he had cherished so much. The ranch was put up for sale, and a public auction was held, drawing thousands of fans and collectors. But even as the horses were moved back to Graceland, Elvis continued to ride and care for them, finding joy in the simple moments of being on horseback. As the new year began, Elvis's life took another turn. On February 1st, 1968, his daughter, Lisa Marie, was born. Fatherhood brought a new dimension to his life, and he was a doting dad, often seen riding with his baby girl in his thoughts. Judy Palmer Bendwold, a lifelong fan, captured many moments of Elvis riding Rising Sun and Bear on the cool winter days, sometimes stopping to chat with fans and sign autographs. One day, while riding Rising Sun, Elvis noticed that the horse was resistant to standing still. He held the reins firmly, maintaining his gentle touch, and posed for a photo with a small, thin cigar between his teeth. The fans who had gathered at the gates of Graceland were allowed inside, and Elvis spent time chatting and signing autographs, showing the kindness and humility that made him beloved by so many. Elvis's love for his horses was not just a hobby, it was a passion that he shared with the world. He protected his animals from harm, firing a trainer who had mistreated one of his horses, and he even taught Rising Sun to drink Pepsi and eat sugar cookies. But it was his gift to Kim Sparks that truly captured the essence of who he was, a man who believed in giving and sharing, even when he had everything the world could offer. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, Elvis continued to ride and care for his horses, finding peace in the saddle and joy in the simple things. In mid-July 1968, he traveled to Apache Junction, Arizona, to begin work on Charo, his final Western film. With a beard and a wide-brimmed hat, he exuded the confidence of a true cowboy, commanding attention on screen and in the saddle. The equine scenes were filmed at the Apashaland Movie Ranch, and Elvis's ease in the saddle was evident, even when his horse acted up. But no matter where he went or what he did, Elvis never forgot the little girl in Walls, Mississippi, and the gift that had brought her so much happiness. For Elvis, horses were more than just animals. They were a part of his soul, a connection to a simpler time, and a reminder of the importance of kindness and generosity. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, had a deep love for horses. This was evident in many of his films, including Charo, where he played a character named Jess Wade. In one memorable scene, Wade lugs his saddle through the mountainous range and stumbles upon a herd of wild mustangs. He ropes a fractious black horse and rides it, despite the animal bucking and rearing for several minutes. Many fans assumed Elvis performed these stunts himself, and he certainly had the skills to do so. However, the studio used a trained stunt double, Rod Wolf, for the most dangerous scenes due to insurance concerns. Rod Wolf, a professional stunt rider, began riding horses and practicing stunts at just 8 years old in Phoenix. He was mentored by the legendary stuntman Jock Mahoney and became an accomplished horseman by his teens. Wolf was also famous for training falling horses in westerns, war films, and other action movies. Despite Wolf handling the most hazardous stunts, Elvis had to perform in some of the close-up shots. During the roping scene, Elvis held onto the rope as the horse fought against him, resulting in painful rope burns on his hands. Two young fans, Sandy and June Evans, visited the Charo set and saw Elvis after filming the scene. They remembered how he kept rubbing his hands on his pants, and later had band-aids on his fingers and palms. Despite the pain, Elvis still made time to talk to his fans and sign autographs, showing his genuine care and dedication. While Charo didn't receive great reviews, Elvis's career was about to take a significant turn. Prior to filming Charo, he was given a chance to revive his singing career. Elvis hadn't performed live since 1961, and his last chart-topping single was from 1962. His popularity as a music star had waned, and his movies were earning less at the box office. Colonel Parker, Elvis's manager, sought a new plan, which led to a deal with NBC to finance a movie and a televised special. The NBC special, produced by Steve Binder, was a huge success. Broadcast on December 3, 1968, it featured a mix of informal jam sessions and choreographed numbers. Elvis, dressed in a black leather suit, captivated the audience and critics alike. The special, known as the Comeback Special, was the highest-rated television special of the year, and helped Elvis regain his status as the king of rock and roll. Following the success of the special, Colonel Parker negotiated a deal for Elvis to perform at the International Hotel in Las Vegas, which was under construction at the time. Elvis began his Las Vegas stint on July 31, 1969, with a sold-out crowd that included celebrities like Pat Boone, Paul Anka, Fats Domino, and Dick Clark. He went on to perform more than 700 sell-out shows through 1976. Elvis's return to live performing was also marked by his renewed connection with his fans. In the months leading up to his first concert, he often rode his horses on the Graceland lawn. He would greet fans and sign autographs, sometimes spending hours with them. One day he opened the gates to Graceland and let in about 500 fans, spending over 2 hours with them. This experience helped Elvis reconnect with his audience and prepare for his return to the stage. By the mid-1970s, Elvis's life was changing. He and Priscilla had separated, and he was on a grueling tour schedule. Despite these challenges, horses continued to provide comfort. When his beloved Tennessee walker, Bear, passed away, Elvis was devastated. He later purchased a black Tennessee walker named Ebony's Double, a son of the famous stallion Ebony Masterpiece. Elvis enjoyed teaching Ebony's Double to drink Pepsi from a can, just as he had with his other horse, Rising Sun. Elvis's tragic passing in 1977 left behind a grieving family, friends, and fans. It also left 5 beloved horses in need of care. Eileen Alexander, a lifelong horsewoman, became the stable manager at Graceland and restored the horses to good health. In 1983, Ebony's Double was featured in a special retirement ceremony at the Tennessee Walking Horse World Celebration. Eileen Alexander, with the help of trainer Howard Hamilton, rode Ebony's double into the ring, where they were met with rousing applause. The ceremony honored Elvis's love for horses and his enduring legacy. Elvis's love for horses was deep and lasting. One of his most cherished memories was with a horse named Ebony's double. Eileen Alexander, who cared for Elvis's horses after he passed away, recalled a special moment with Ebony's double. She said, "I gave him just a touch, and his head went up, and he hit a lick as though he knew just what to do." They brought out a retirement blanket with white silk roses and the outline of a guitar. For Eileen, showing that horse was a turning point in her life. Many of the horses at Graceland lived long, happy lives, because Elvis and Eileen took very good care of them. Ebony's double lived to be almost 32 years old, which is quite old for a horse. Mare Ingram was even more remarkable, living to be 50 years old. Lisa Marie's pony, Moriah, also reached the age of 30, even after breaking her leg. The veterinarians at Mississippi State University Hospital successfully repaired her leg, giving her a new lease on life. After Elvis's passing, the Graceland stables continued to be a home for horses. Sun's Reflection, a Palomino Quarter Horse, and Ebony's Secret Threat, a black Tennessee walking horse, carried on the legacy of Elvis's beloved horses. In recent years, the stables have welcomed rescue horses that needed a safe and loving home, just like Elvis would have wanted. Elvis's favorite horse, Rising Sun, was a sturdy Palomino who outlived his master by 9 years. Rising Sun passed away peacefully at Graceland in 1986, at the age of 25. He was buried in the far paddock, with his head pointed toward the rising sun, symbolizing the bond Elvis had with his equine friend. To honor this bond, there will always be a Palomino horse living in the Graceland stables, just as Elvis would have wanted. In 2010, the Breyer Company, known for creating miniature horse sculptures, introduced resin models of Rising Sun and Bear, Elvis's other favorite horse. These limited edition figurines featured Elvis's signature on the underside of each horse. Breyer also created a line of other Elvis-related horse figurines, holiday ornaments, a jewelry box, and a toy replica of the Graceland barn. Fans could see some of Elvis's tack and other horse-related items at the Breyer Fest event at the Kentucky Horse Park. The Lexington Herald leader reported that fans were all shook up about the Elvis exhibit, a nod to one of Elvis's early hits. Elvis's work in Western films also earned him recognition. In 2016, the Real Cowboys organization posthumously presented Elvis with 2 awards: the Silver Spur Award for his work in Western films and a Medal of Honor for his military service. Jerry Schilling, Elvis's friend, accepted the awards on his behalf. One of the most exciting developments in recent years is the restoration of Elvis's Circle G Ranch. The property had fallen into disrepair over the years, but in 2014, a group of investors led by Buddy Runnels Jr. purchased it with the goal of restoring it to its former glory. The cross that Elvis found so mesmerizing will be refurbished, and the stables where he spent so much time will be restored. The ranch will also include a riding program that provides horse therapy to special needs children, adults, and veterans, causes that were close to Elvis's heart. Whitney Lee, one of the key figures in the restoration, said, "When we arrived on the property, the first thing I noticed was the cross. It was so much larger than any photo or description could ever convey. The entire property had a sense of peace, serenity, and safety, with a touch of mystery. I immediately felt like the ranch had a story to tell, not just about the past, but also about the future." Once the restoration is complete, fans from all over the world will be able to visit the Circle G Ranch and experience the tranquility that Elvis found there. They will be able to walk through the emerald meadows and fields where Elvis and Rising Sun once roamed, feeling the same peace and solace that Elvis enjoyed. In this way, Elvis's spirit will always be alive at his beloved ranch. The year was 1967, and Elvis Presley was at the peak of his fame. But even the king of rock and roll had his quiet moments. One of these moments came when he purchased a beautiful golden Palomino Quarter Horse, named Midget's Vandy. Elvis, always one for a good name, promptly renamed the horse Rising Sun. This majestic animal would become one of Elvis's most beloved companions. Elvis's love for horses wasn't new. He had grown up in the South, where horses were a common sight, and he had always been drawn to their strength and beauty. But Rising Sun was special. He was more than just a horse. He was a symbol of freedom and a connection to nature that Elvis craved amidst the chaos of his fame. Rising Sun wasn't just a pet. He was a part of the family. Elvis would often take him for rides around the property, feeling the warm sun on his back and the wind in his hair. These rides were a welcome break from the constant attention and the pressures of being a superstar. For a few hours, Elvis could be just a man, enjoying the simple pleasure of a horseback ride. But Rising Sun's significance went beyond just providing a moment of peace. He became a source of inspiration for Elvis. The horse's golden coat and gentle demeanor reminded Elvis of the sun, a symbol of hope and renewal. It's no wonder that Elvis chose the name Rising Sun, a name that captured both the beauty of the horse and the optimism Elvis felt at the time. Elvis's love for Rising Sun was shared by his wife, Priscilla, and their daughter, Lisa Marie. Priscilla often joined Elvis on his rides, and Lisa Marie, even at a young age, would watch in awe as her father and his horse galloped across the fields. These moments were precious, forming some of the most cherished memories of their family life. Rising Sun wasn't just a presence at Graceland. He became a part of the landscape. Elvis's friends and visitors would often comment on the horse, and it wasn't uncommon to see Rising Sun grazing in the pastures, a serene and beautiful sight. The horse was so well known that he became a symbol of Graceland itself, a living reminder of Elvis's deep connection to the land and his roots. However, Elvis's life was never without its challenges. In 1967, he was facing pressures from his manager, Colonel Parker, and his father, Vernon, who urged him to sell the Circle G Ranch. Despite his love for the ranch and Rising Sun, Elvis eventually agreed to the sale. It was a difficult decision, but one that reflected the complex and often conflicting demands of his life. Even after the sale of the ranch, Rising Sun remained at Graceland. Elvis continued to care for the horse, and the bond between them only grew stronger. Rising Sun was more than just a pet. He was a constant in Elvis's life, a reminder of the simpler times and the love that had brought him so much joy. In the years that followed, Elvis's life would take many turns. He would continue to perform, to make movies, and to face the challenges that came with his fame. But through it all, Rising Sun remained a source of comfort and inspiration. When Elvis passed away in 1977, the loss was felt deeply by all who knew him. But for his family and friends, the memory of Rising Sun provided a bittersweet comfort, a reminder of the love and joy that Elvis had brought into their lives. In 1986, Rising Sun, the horse that had brought so much happiness to Elvis, passed away. He was buried at Graceland, facing the rising sun, a fitting tribute to the horse that had been such an important part of Elvis's life. The memory of Rising Sun lives on, a symbol of the enduring love and simplicity that Elvis cherished, even in the midst of his extraordinary life. Victoria Racimo's journey through the world of film, television, and literature is one of passion, creativity, and impact. Her early work as a filmmaker and producer laid the foundation for a career that would touch the hearts of many. Winning Best Director for her documentary, One Day, at the 2015 Equus Film Festival in New York City, was a milestone that recognized her talent and dedication to storytelling. Victoria's love for animation led her to write 2 specials that brought laughter and joy to audiences. A Toucan Can, starring Jason Alexander, and Pirate Jack, featuring Alice Cooper, are testament to her ability to blend humor with adventure. Her collaboration with Alicia Keys on the children's book, Blue Moon, further showcased her versatility as a writer, creating a story that captivated young readers and their families. One of Victoria's most significant achievements came when she was commissioned by the state of Virginia to write and direct Journey of Destiny for the 400th anniversary celebration of the landing at Jamestown. This project not only honored the historical significance of the event, but also brought it to life for a modern audience, airing on CBS and reaching millions of viewers. Victoria's involvement in Steven Spielberg's film, Lincoln, added another layer to her impressive resume. She was hired to stage 2 theatrical sequences, contributing to the film's authentic and emotional storytelling. Her role as the executive producer on Cassie Cassie, a film she later sold to HBO, further solidified her standing in the industry. Beyond her creative work, Victoria is the founder and president of Palomino Entertainment Group, a company that reflects her commitment to producing meaningful content. Her dedication to equine welfare is a personal passion that she carries with her, ensuring that the animals she loves are cared for and protected. Victoria Racimo's story is one of continuous growth and success. Her multifaceted career as a filmmaker, writer, and producer has left a lasting mark on the entertainment industry. More importantly, her work continues to inspire and entertain, reminding us all of the power of storytelling and the impact it can have on the world.